1962 and watch as a spirited Baltimore team through great song and dance integrate a TV dance show and achieve archery as a performance. You guessed it, it's Hairspray. Shows May 1st, 2nd, 8th, 9th, 15th, 16th at 8 p.m. and May 3rd and 10th at 2 p.m. at the Bergdorf Theater of Performing Arts. General tickets $25. Call 973-761-8453 or visit thestrollers.org for more information. Don't stay at home. Come play with the Strollers.
You're listening to the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. For more, go to SoMore.org to participate in the discussion.
We are back with you. It's Individuals with Anselm and Marjorie on the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. Coming to you every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's 8 to 9:30 p.m. You can reach us here at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/SoulMore Radio. And you can also contact us while we are on the air on our Facebook page. We do answer Facebook requests on Facebook. You can also tweet us at SoMore Radio. That's at SoMore Radio. You can also send us your email at somore.org@gmail.com. That's somore.org@gmail.com. You can also call our offices at 347-674-1680.
You go, honey. You just go.
That's 347-674-1680. So, Marjorie.
Anselm. You're something else, Anselm. You really are.
Eric Dyson. On his break with mentor Cornel West. Event that we just attended the other day with that guy's
Cornel West and Larry Ham.
Yeah, that guy's a bright guy, man.
Well, he's a scholar.
He's off the chart, but sometimes when these guys get off the chart, so you want to listen to what they had to say. I mean, I don't know.
Now there are four. I see there are like four different audios here. Which segment do you want to see?
Michael Eric Dyson and Cornel West.
I see the criticism versus ad hominem. Michael Eric Dyson interview.
You know what's ad hominem, right? You know what ad hominem means?
And other things. What does it mean?
Well, ad hominem means that when you cannot deal with a person based on factual information, you try to get personal with them. You try to take them into the gutter.
Wow.
You attack them because you cannot deal with the facts that they're giving you, because you don't have any. So it's called ad hominem attacks. I learned that from my attorney pal who passed away.
Okay.
He said, Anselm, man, they can't deal with me, so they take you into the gutter. Ad hominem attacks.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a little something.
You're really good today, Anselm. You're really sharp. I guess your age is helping you.
You know what they say?
He's really sharp today. Even like your made-up word. At least that was in Urban Dictionary.
Made-up. It was. Was
a made-up word.
It's not a made-up word. It's in the dictionary.
You know what? But it's part of the joy. It's taking me up one, percentage of a point.
Okay. So it was personal. In Michael Eric Dyson takedown for the New Republic, his friend and mentor Cornel West, he has come to Jesus moment. He has a come to Jesus moment that is neither pretty nor kind, but painfully blunt. The realization came to Dyson that West is a parody of the intellectual he once was, that his vicious and often personal attack on President Barack Obama has come at a cost, the loss of this credibility and the loss of their 35-year-old friendship. So let's take a listen. See, make sure this comes
now,
up.
which one are you listening to? So I see criticism versus
Michael Eric Dyson and Cornel West, The Root.
Okay, and I see 4 different tracks here. Out of 8 that are in.
Well, I think it was. I've known him now for almost 35 years, and I think it was the nastiness of the tone, it was the vituperation, it was the unprincipled assault. criticism that is targeted and principled, I think is fine. Even vigorous criticism. But I think there's a difference between that and ad hominem. And many of the assaults upon Obama and subsequently Sharpton, Melissa Harris Perry, me, even Reverend Jesse Jackson, but were very personal and, lacking the kind of substantive engagement that is called on when one expresses disagreement about, ideas and about movements and about practices, not reducing them to their personal element, which I think, infused so much of what Professor West had to say. And the personal animus has obscured, some powerful and sometimes luminous and at other times legitimate critique. But when you, weigh it down with such under the burden of extraordinary personal bitterness, it just wipes away all the good stuff that you might say, and it makes us question what it is about the motivation for your criticism in the long run. Because, first you're with Obama, then you don't get the tickets to the inauguration because you think that reveals, something about his character, but then you so rapidly and so vehemently turn against him. So were you convinced in the first place that he was a good person? He hasn't changed all that much. Did you feel that you had, I think he's admitted he misled people because he had been so-called bamboozled. But is that a reason to go on the attack with such vehemence and such viciousness? And then beyond that, what was bothersome to me is that there were some logical and philosophical contradictions in what he was doing. He was indicating that he was, a prophet. He was indicating that as a prophet, he had problems with Obama and other prophets like Sharpton and Jackson. And my point is, hey, when you break it down, you're not really a prophet. You don't know much about prophecy, but you talk constantly and relentlessly about it. And so I had a philosophical disagreement with him in terms of the use and deployment of prophetic language and the use of prophetic language to, to disavow certain figures who I think are powerful and worthy of embrace and celebration and also criticism, whether that's at Reverend Al Sharpton or Reverend Jesse Jackson. So I think that he was setting himself up, that is West, as a kind of prophetic figure in a way that I think had to be challenged, because ultimately when you look at the litmus tests for those who are prophetic in their heart in terms of their standing in the community, he didn't measure up. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, be a public intellectual, be a gadfly, be a paid pest. Those are worthy careers and vocations. But to self-anoint yourself a prophet, I think goes astray and contradicts the ostensible humility that he says is at the heart of his project. So those things, among many other things, made me want to sniff out and, smell the coffee, so to speak, and get to some of the heart of the drama that he was presenting in public. Well, I mean, I think that, he didn't feel dissed by Clinton the way he felt dissed by Obama. And that personal element, again, we have to reduce it to the personal. Maybe Clinton didn't stiff him on inauguration tickets. And as a result of that, he didn't feel a kind of personal animus that then fanned out into political and ideological difference and schism. So for me, I think that he was intolerant of the process by which one criticizes a presidential figure. And look, it's not an easy task. I know myself, because despite the vehemence with which West has attacked me in particular, I've had my differences with the administration, and they have expressed chagrin at my criticism of them, especially my Washington Post op-ed, where I said that what President Obama did was, not a good thing after the Michael Brown incident. And I took him to task, and I said his brilliant as he was on Trayvon, he was unenlightened and clinically dispassionate with black people after Michael Brown. The Obama administration didn't go, yay, Yahoo, thank you so very much. But the thing is, also reported in the Washington Post by Nia Malika Henderson is that, because I was on Face the Nation and then that op-ed, he said Dyson can't be dismissed as a hater. He can't be dismissed as Cornel West or Tavis Smiley because he's been seen as a friend to the administration or a friendly critic, and therefore when he makes a criticism, even the White House can't dismiss him. There it is. So I hope I put myself in a position by principled critique that at moments that I wanted to defend the president against the vicious onslaught of white supremacist fringe elements, I could do so. And when it came time to say to the president and his administration, I think this is where you failed. And as a friendly critic, I must say so. Even if they don't dig it, even if they don't understand that, even if they don't warmly embrace that, that's my job. But I don't have to be personal in either case. I don't have to have personal animus toward the man because I respect him as a human being. And as I report in the piece, West doesn't have that respect. So if you don't have personal respect for the human being doing the job, you won't have much appreciation for the complications and complexities of his office that he occupies. And I think all of that got intertwined with West's ego in regard to the president. And I think it became a kind of colossal pissing match. And Guy, you're never going to win that argument against the first sitting African-American president. You're just not going to win that battle.
Wow.
It would take an egomaniac to believe, first of all, that you had a chance in competition with the president. It's a non-starter. To think that you were in competition with him to begin with would be ridiculous. I would suspect that West didn't feel he was in competition with Obama in that regard, because there was no choice for black people to have. It was Obama versus anybody else. It was Obama against the rest of the world, whether it was Jeremiah Wright or Jesse Jackson or Cornel West or Tavis Smiley. They would all be casualties in the war for respect and representation of the President of the United States of America, the first black man to get into the office. We've had a plethora of prophets. We had endless black intellectuals. We ain't had but one black president. So first of all, you're not going to win that battle. Secondly, it would behoove you then to be strategic about your critique and to understand the passions, the loves, and the devotions of the black people that you represent as a black intellectual. I say this as a self-critique myself. I'm in the same position. You enjoy people who follow you. You enjoy the books you write, people supporting you. They see you on television. They acclaim you as a leader. Fine. But that has to be put in context. And I think that West miscalculated the degree to which black people would not only be deeply in love with Obama, but see him as the fulfillment of a centuries-long quest for freedom and self-expression in America as black people. And I think he underestimated the degree to which the passion would be deep. You can't write it off merely as black people are blind. You got to also understand that black people are smart enough and intelligent enough to understand that this man faces a bunch of resentment and resistance, that everything he wants to do he can't do because Congress is blocking him and so on, but that his symbolic cachet, his representative value is of such character that it will undercut previously celebrated figures, whether that's West, Dyson, Smiley, Sharpton, or Jackson. Everybody is to the side. That person becomes central. Same thing with Martin Luther King Jr. Before, when there were others who either opposed him or didn't understand what he was doing. Malcolm X trying to undercut him. Martin Luther King Jr. won that battle because he won the hearts of black people in a fundamental fashion. I don't think Obama is Martin Luther King Jr. Because the ultimate sacrifice that King made secures his niche as the greatest black American in our history. Though, it must be noted, many black people think with the election of Barack Obama that he's in competition. The first person to be in real competition with Martin Luther King Jr. as the greatest black person we've ever had. So when you get on that level, I think it takes, we got to take our egos out of that. I would never want to blindly accuse West of having that kind of egocentric, that kind of egocentric paranoia, but at the same time, I think we got to, at the end of the day, we got to just call it like we see it. And some of it might have been ego, some of it might have been a kind of resentment of the displacement factor that the rise of a Barack Obama represents in black culture.
So there you have it, Marjorie.
What do you...
There's more, but
Michael.